Is it
Uh-oh,
the mic
new
on?
mic.
There we go. Here we go. Yes. Eliav, goodbye. Sports 360 AZ. Good to see you as always. New season. So obviously, you and Nate just talked about the leadership that you've been given and the responsibility. How has learning from players like Candace, Diana, Britney helped you develop your own leadership style now?
I think playing with great players is a great thing. I think you learn different leadership styles. I think just going back to my 2021 season, winning the championship against the Phoenix Mercury, I think that team was full of leaders, but leaders in their own way. And I think you're able to be your best authentic and genuine self when you do it your way. You don't try to do it like anyone else does it, because that's what makes you who you are. And then your teammates, they also see you being your authentic self, so they feel inspired to do the same thing. So for me, just having great leaders, seeing them be themselves and also get me to follow, that was inspiring. So I'm just trying to do the same, do it my own way.
Dan Scott, Arizona Republic. Kyle, last season you played in the middle of the season in the Olympics, and then this offseason you played in Unrivaled. So even though you were on different teams among Satou and AT, how do you think that helped you guys prepare for this season in Miami compared to mid-season when you're going through the Olympics and traveling and having to come back and finish the season?
Wait, huh? I'm sorry. You lost me a little bit.
What I'm saying is, how do you think being in Unrivaled helped prepare you, not having to travel overseas or anything, compared to going mid-season overseas and playing the Olympics and then coming back and having to finish last season?
All right, cool. I got that. I think Unrivaled was great because just having everyone in one spot, just not having to travel. I mean, it might sound like a small thing, but not having to travel is a lot. Like, it takes a lot on your body. You're able to just be in one place. You're also able to just like connect with your teammates, other teams. I think that's kind of the biggest thing for me with Unrivaled was the no travel.
Greg Moore, columnist, Arizona Republic. Good to see you. I covered the Mercury in 21. I remember the finals.
Yeah. I remember too.
No doubt.
Per.
So the WNBA is getting like more and more attention, right? And then with the franchise reset, there's going to be a lot of fans who are interested in the Mercury. Mm-hmm. I'd like to kind of help introduce you to those new fans. So I'm curious about your origin story. Like, who taught you basketball? Where was it? Was it the driveway, the park up the street, the rec center? Like, what's your origin story when you learned the game?
Damn, this is a great question. I don't think no one has ever asked me this, unless I was doing like something else. But I'm from North Philly. I know y'all know that. Just a kid from North Philly, but I started playing basketball right where I live, 32nd and Berks. Whether it was shooting on the one-way sign, just trying to like hit it right in the middle, like, okay, that's the rim, or somebody nailing the crate to the one-way sign. Graduated from the crate to like right on the corner of the block. They took a rim from the park, put it up, and we just started hooping right there. It was like my cousins, a bunch of guys from the neighborhood. I was just standing there and would like kind of wait my turn, and then they realized I had a little bit of game, so they let me play with them. So kind of went from 32nd and Berks to 33rd and Diamond. It wasn't a lot of like opportunities for young girls to play in different leagues, so just played in the league with a bunch of guys and just guys from the neighborhood, just really loving and embracing the fact that I could hoop and didn't matter that I was a girl. That's why I thought it was super special for me. If you look back on draft day, I'm talking to Holly and I'm like, you know, this for all my guys on 32nd and Berks, just to give y'all something to brag about, because I think the things that those guys instilled in me, whether it was that toughness or that grit or just always having that chip on my shoulder because I wasn't as strong as them, but at times I was much quicker, much more athletic. But just the street smart and just that toughness, I think, that have been instilled in me since I was a little girl, I definitely got to get him another shout out. Shout out to the guys.
Hey, Kyle, good morning. How you doing? Joshua Huron with Anscape. It's been noted that you mentored Angel Reese in Unrival, and you've been quoted saying that, you're just walking her through her finishes and making her realize that it's not just her going through this process. How did your time mentoring athletes in Unrival prepare you for just an increased leadership role with this Mercury team this year?
I think Unrival was super fun. I think Angel has had a lot of success. And I just saw like a little bit of myself in her, whether it was, having a bad game of not being able to finish the ball well, or just kind of just growing through like being a great player. So for me, I've had great mentors, and I know what it feels like for a player of my caliber to like pour into you and give you that confidence, and also give you that criticism. So it was just about like pouring into her and helping her grow as a person and as a player.
Hey, Kyle, Mark McClune, Arizona's Family, 3TV, CBS 5. Not sure if you're interested in being a reporter when it's all said and done with your career, but let us know.
Okay. Remember you said that?
Yeah, okay. It's on tape. I think we're taking this live.
Bet.
How do you balance kind of the joy of, having fun with your coach, having fun with your teammates, and also playing with that chip on your shoulder?
I think I have this really good balance of like joy, but there's times where you have to remind yourself of like you're playing the game you love. Like this is your life. You know, as a kid, you play the game. You don't realize where it can take you. And for me, it's like sometimes I just have to stop. Like, I am playing basketball for a living. Like, I am doing what I love to do. So just constantly reminding myself of that. And I think I just have these moments where I have that just wave of like gratitude where I'm just super grateful for everything, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, whatever. And yeah, I think it's just a constant thing. Like I'm just grateful. Like I'm grateful. Like this is year 10 for me. People don't make it to year 10. So like I said, I'm just grateful.
Hey, Kahleah, Brennan Clean, Phoenix New Times. Obviously, Nate and Nick were both asked about style of play, and you guys are all learning each other, and it's early stages of all of that. But what excites you about the style and kind of identity of what this team can be on the floor when we finally get to see you guys in a couple weeks here?
Well, I think I love that everyone has locked in defensively. I think when you really like sacrifice just playing offense to like, we're going to guard. I think we were very intentional from day one in saying that we want to guard. We know we can score, but we want to be able to rely on our defense at times. So I'm just excited that everyone has kind of bought into that. I mean, like first day, the first thing was like defense. No one was just like defense. It was like, let's go, let's get it. But I think that's why it's so important for me to set the tone. Like he said, defense, I'm like, let's go, like let's get it. So I was just excited for everyone kind of just following that energy of like, yeah, we're going to guard and really taking pride in that. So I think the coaches, and just a major shout out to AT, who was really the big dog on like, yeah, we're going to guard.
What's going on, Kahleah?
What up?
Stephen Prejean Gardner's PHNX Sports. Back in 2023 with the Sky, we had a conversation about the way defense has shifted to giving you longer closeouts. Can you speak to how important the three-point shot is to your profile and the quick decisions to catch, shoot, or drive in that, with your profile this season?
Well, I guess I got to give it to Nate, huh? I came here and I like to play in the midi. Like I like to get to the rim, but like I like to get to my midi. So I guess I was a little delulu about the three. So Nate was just like rim and three. And I'm like, all right. Early on, it was a little tough for me, but I just kind of bought in. Like shout out to Preston. Where you at, P? they showed me the numbers. They're just telling me how it can elevate my game and the things that would change. So I just kind of bought into it and worked at it. It's just getting in the gym and working on my finishes and then just shooting that three consistently. And I just see the difference in, the numbers. The numbers show it from 2023 to 2024. It was about getting more threes up for me. And then it just also changed my points per game. So rim and three, you said rim and three? I got you. No manure strips.
Hi, Jeff Metcalf. Nate was talking about how between you and AT and Satou, any of you could be out there initiating the offense, rolling to the basket, scoring that way. How do you see just the combination of what the three of you can do together?
I love that our offense is positionless, like I told you guys before. It allows us to be comfortable in an offense, but it also allows us to kind of float around, not to be like, oh, I'm stuck in this position. Like, no, we kind of go through spots. Everyone knows each and every spot. So I think with the kind of players that we have being so versatile, it fits the offense, and we're the perfect fit for it. So like I said, I'm just excited to play positionless basketball with such unique players who have a dynamic skill set.
Hey, Satou. Kahleah, goodbye. Sports 360 AZ, good to see you.
Good to see you.
I know we've had a lot of excitement throughout the offseason. You've already been here for a while, training, but now that training camp really got started and you really got to feel kind of Nate's style out there on the court, what's it been like alongside, of course, your other stars and new teammates?
It's been great. The standard is high, and those are the environments that I thrive in and that I enjoy working in. Every single day that I just come in here, I'm super grateful to be in an organization like this, building on legacy, being able to build on legacy. That's a huge honor for me. So just bringing my personality and my game into it. I'm a little brat, so I think other people here on the team are also brats, and I feel like Nate has really found people that mesh together, and it's just really fun.
Hey Satou, welcome to Phoenix. It's Aya Abdeen for Ball is Life. Take me through the first 3 days of training camp, and what goals would you like to accomplish with the team this year?
A lot of talking, a lot of communication about mistakes that we might make, but also preparation. So, just obviously moving our bodies and prepping our bodies for a really demanding and hard season, but just keeping the fun with it. Basketball is something that we all love doing, and I think that this environment encourages that fun, and this environment encourages this openness to be better and challenge us to be better, but also, just sitting in the family room, having breakfast together, building that team chemistry, because that is something that we will just have to work on a little bit more than other teams. They've been together. But it seems like it's a good fit, and the first 3 days were definitely really good for everyone all around. I think from the people that just came in to the people that have returned, for example, like Ka and Mac, they've been teaching us what it means to be a Mercury, and I think it's good to have that and a little bit of new vibe in there, so we can all be together.
Dana Scott, Arizona Republic. Satou, welcome again.
Thank you.
Last year in Dallas, you had 2 6'7" on the team, and now you have one here in Kalani. So how much did that help you with spacing and having the defenders crash down on them and then open you up? And how do you think that will help you with Kalani being here again with you?
Yeah. I love playing with bigs, and I think having Kalani on the team will be such an asset. She's very mobile and she can, run the floor, but she's also a good shooter and knows the game. Like, her IQ is really high. And I've profited of having big people in the paint, because you need to guard them. You need to box them out. They will just rebound the ball, and I love my little dish offs to the post and side too. So it creates this form of being able to rely on your people. And obviously I had 2 last year. We were really big in Dallas, but I feel like we're really big here too. And yeah, Lonnie's just in there working. It's really great.
Satou, Lena Washington, 12 News Phoenix. Welcome to the Valley.
Thank you.
You mentioned legacy here, so I'm curious what your knowledge of the Mercury and perception was before landing here and how that's changed or been emphasized since you arrived.
Yeah, so the Phoenix Mercury are actually one of the first games that I also got to watch. Overseas, it's a little bit harder watching the games, especially due to the time change. But everyone knows DT, and I think that she's been definitely a role model in my life. I got to play against her in the W, but also in college for the first time. And that was really, really, really when I started, being around her and like looking at her more. And to be able to stand on and practice on her court now, I was looking at a video and I'm like, okay, Diana Taurasi court, like how legendary is that I get to practice on here? Just growing up, watching women play basketball, like I really don't take this lightly at all. And it's a huge honor getting to spend time with BG and knowing how many years she has spent here and that I don't want to let people down that way either, because that's just the pride that comes as a woman, as a black woman, to carry on the legacy of someone like her. I just love that. So it's a huge honor to me when I get to say that I'm a Mercury now and to continue their winning. Dawana Bana too. Like once I realized she played here for this long, I'm like, oh my God, I want to be like her. She has that long player style. So I've always been inspired by it. And sometimes I'm really still struck by saying, oh, I play for the Phoenix Mercury now, yeah.
Thank you. Greg Moore, Arizona Republic columnist.
Hey.
Good to see you. Kahleah's gonna have this new role. She's gonna be more of a team leader. I'm curious how you think she can advance your game. How will you two play together?
She challenges me, and we already had a conversation, especially around recruiting time. She was like, I'm gonna demand a lot from you. And we looked each other in the eyes and we were like, yeah, good. Like, I want that because I know her drive as a player. I've played against her. She has won. So that's where I want to be. So I'm ready to learn. And even in I think the third practice or the second practice, she just huddled everyone together and spoke up. And I don't know her that well yet, but what she said and just being able to be accountable, hold us all accountable, and tell us not to settle and not to ever be not hungry, that instills something within you when a player like that says that, like, oh, you have won, you could have some type of satisfaction to it, but she's still hungry, and I love that. Like, that is something that really fuels other people, and I'm very big on mindset. I'm very big on approaching something very seriously and preparing for it. So she's been setting the standard, and I just love that. I love when someone comes in and does things the right way and then demands things because, yeah, absolutely. Girl, tell me everything you need. Tell me everything you need.
Satou, Craig Fouye, ABC 15 Sports. How are you managing the nerves, the anxiousness, the excitement of a fresh start, of being here, of moving to Phoenix and being a part of this group?
By fully embracing it. I'm here now. I know what I am capable of. I know what I'm capable of, and I'm just happy to bring my game to the city. I'm happy to bring my game on the court, and I know people are excited when they see me play. So I love the game so much, and that's really what's having me excited. I was seeing the first Phoenix Mercury post of our practices, and I'm like, wow, all my smiles have been caught on 4K. I'm like, I need to be a little bit more serious, but I'm just excited. It's a new beginning for me, and I'm just grateful. Yeah.
Hey, Satou, Brendan Clean, Phoenix New Times. I know you've had a couple of seasons, unfortunately, set back with injuries and different things you've had to overcome. What have you been able to learn about yourself or about preparation or recovery or just anything going through those experiences, obviously coming into this season healthy and hoping to avoid that in the future, obviously?
Last year taught me a lot, how fragile a career can be, how determined I am to get back to the thing that I love doing, to play the Olympics, to really play the second half of the season, which I didn't have to, but I wanted to because I love the game so much and I want to be better and I want to develop. And pushing through uncomfortable times really makes you stronger. We're the pros at pushing through adversity, and I think I've been through a lot in my life, but it just really makes you appreciate times like this even more. And I think that just by growing and adulting a little bit more, I realized how important relationships are off the court, like nurturing your friendships, nurturing your family ties, but then also nurturing the work relationships that you build throughout the time, because in my past 5 years, I've met so many amazing people throughout the league, like whether it's media, whether it's trainers, whether it's, people in basketball operations, whether it's all these people that just come to the games and find joy in that. That is really something that fuels me. And I'm just ready to go. I feel like I had an amazing year before last year. I feel like last year was just a little holdup, a little setback, but really a reset for everything so that I can now just thrive in a new place.
Satou, Hayden Silly with Clutch Points. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
I know there's been a lot of talk about the positionless basketball throughout training camp so far, and I know you fit that mold really well. So I'm just curious, from your perspective, how can this positionless basketball, whether if it's you guys on the Mercury or the league as a whole, how can positionless basketball thrive in today's WNBA?
It's really in today's way of playing basketball. I think people just become more skilled at everything. And I have always been a player where it's like, oh, I don't even know which position I'm at. I'm really versatile, and I love playing the point or, bringing the ball up. I love posting up. And the same goes for Ka and AT. We have Lonnie shooting threes. I was already saying, come on, the other bigs have to guard that too, So the other bigs have to defend down screen. So just having that flow and that unpredictable movement of offensive players, that obviously we know what we're doing, but I think it's really hard to guard that because people are also bound to guarding position tight basketball. So it's just going to be fun. It's a new concept for me, and I love it. So I'm just really excited to see how everything will come together. I mean, we're 3 days in. I've been here a little bit longer, but just learning the little concepts is really all about coaching, all about the things that trickle down, and then what we as leaders show, some rookies or younger players. But in the end, it's still basketball. The ball has to fall in the hoop, and we're pretty good at that.
Hi, Jeff Metcalf. That being said about positionless, Nate was talking about how important it is to be good at the four in this league. And so to have yourself, AT, and even Copper can play that position some, both on offense and defense, how important is that to the success of this team?
Very important. It means playing for the team and not playing for yourself. As a four, you really control the game. And now we have multiple fours on the court, but we're also enabled to do so. So, just by swinging the ball or having a pin down action, a flare action, everyone can initiate those actions. And now it's really all about trust and finding that tie of players with each other, sharing the ball, kicking it out, shooting these threes, driving to the rim, and really finding a flow within that. But I think as a four, to be able to bring it up, just like me and AT can do, but then also posting up, it frees up a bit opportunities for other people. We're going to have Sammy Whitcomb, who's the best shooter ever. I'm so happy to be playing with her with that 0.3 second shot. That's just amazing. We space out the floor well. We can be inside, so we can find the shooters. They can drive. We have space, so there's just a lot of things that we can experiment with, and I think we'll have more of a feel for it all coming together, but it's a new way, very spread out. Thank you. Hey.
Hey, AT, Eliav Gabai, Sports 360 AZ. Good to see you again. So we've heard so much about the positionless basketball and the versatility of this team. We've talked a lot about it. For you as the floor general, though, how do you balance that positionless game while still building roles for everyone?
Yeah, I mean, I think, positionless basketball is a lot of fun. As a facilitator, I'm surrounded by so many offensive weapons, and I think that's the great thing about it is, any given night, anybody can, go off and it's their night. So right now it's just, learning each other and figuring out how to play with each other, but once we get it, it's going to be seamless.
Alyssa, Craig Fouye, ABC 15. welcome.
Thank you.
What is it right now that fires you up in the morning to come in this building and get going? So many new faces, new teammates, coaching staff, all that stuff. What is it that's getting you excited to come in the building?
Oh man, it's a blessing to be, in season 12. So that within itself has me fired up. But it's a new opportunity. It's a new team. I'm in a great franchise, historically known for winning. So for me, I'm just excited with all the new players, all the new faces, and just trying to soak it all up.
Hi, Alyssa. Tia Reed for the next. Ka talked about you being one of the biggest proponents of this heavy defense-first mindset. Why was it so important for you to come in and kind of push that agenda from day one?
Yeah, I mean, when you're trying to play positionless basketball in up-tempo, it starts on the defensive end. You got to go out there and go into a different mindset, kind of like goblin mode where, you just try to do whatever it takes to, stop whoever you need to stop. So for me, defense is part of my identity. I love to play defense. I take a lot of pride in it. And hopefully, my teammates, we can all, go out there and be top 3 in defense this year.
Alyssa, Dana Scott, Arizona Republic. First off, I want to say congratulations on getting out of my boring hometown, Norwich, and transition here to Phoenix.
Oh, thank you. That's awful.
Second of all, you played at Unrivaled. You've been in this league a long time. How do you feel that Unrivaled did for giving you guys the money you feel you deserve compared to where you're at in the W and what the new CBA negotiations could be in the coming months?
I think the most exciting thing about Unrivaled was just not going overseas. As somebody that's, spent their whole career just playing year-round, it was a great switch up to, be in Miami and just, focus on what you needed to focus on. It's been a long time since I've just been able to work on my game and do the types of lifts that I wanted to do. So it was just really refreshing, and it was a time to just reset.
Hey, Alyssa, Stephen Prejean Gardner, PHNX Sports. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm blessed. You are a player that's been very close to kicking that door down and getting that championship ring that you feel like you've aligned with for a majority of your career. What is it about Phoenix that aligns with that goal for you? And defensively, how do you feel like that is going to help you all get to that point?
Yeah, like I said, I've been very close a couple times, and I just felt it was time for a change and attack it at a different way. And, I came here with a lot of new faces, a lot of hungry people, and it's just going to be a lot of fun in an organization that's known for winning, has multiple championships, and just overall a franchise that's been at the top of this league for a long time. So for me, I'm just excited to add to that history that we know Phoenix Mercury to be, and defense is going to be a huge part of our identity, and I'm going to be spearheading a lot of that.
Mark McClune, Arizona's Family 3 TV, CBS 5. You mentioned the new faces, and just as the community fans get to know this team, how would you describe your personality on and off the floor, and maybe the personality of this team as you're learning it?
I mean, my personality off the court is, very reserved and shy, and when I step onto the court, it's a whole alter ego. I go to a different mode. This team, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, you got a lot of offensive weapons, a lot of people that are hungry and just want to play great basketball. A lot of young people willing to learn and just want to soak everything up. So for me, it's just going to be a fun, exciting year, a lot of up-tempo basketball, and just getting this organization back on track.
Alyssa, Hayden Silly with Clutch Points. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
You, for the last 2 seasons, you've played all 40 games. I'm just curious what the physical preparation is for you and how you've been able to play every game, especially with the minutes workload that you have.
Yeah, I just go out there and I want to win. I'm not worried about the time spent on the floor. I think the more you're in the league, the more you know how to take care of your body and what you need. Coming to a franchise like this where, you know, you have a facility and you know, the nutrition, the strength part, it's hopefully going to age me backwards that I can continue to keep playing like this. But yeah, it's just, you know, you got to take pride in your body and continue to take care of it. I want to be in every game, and that's the plan for this year.
Hey, Alyssa, it's Aya Abdeen for Ball is Life. Take me through the first 3 days of training camp and how the team is progressing through the team chemistry, and what would you like to accomplish this season?
Yeah, I mean, we've you know, focused a lot on defense early on. Like I said, that's going to be a big part of our identity this year. You know, there's a lot of faces, a lot of people trying to learn the offense. I think we've done a great job so far, just, you know, trying to pick everything up. And, you know, I'm just excited the talent that we have here, and it's only going to get better. Chemistry is still a work in progress, but overall right now it's just going out there and doing what you do and to your best of your ability.
60 AZ. So obviously just starting training camp, getting used to everybody. What's it been like trying to kind of feel out the big three and how to complement them best so far?
It's been great. This is a whole new entire system. So it's gonna take time, but I have a great staff, great teammates. The big three is helping me as much as they can and talking me through it. So yeah, it's been great.
Dana Scott, Arizona Republic. Kalani, welcome again.
Hi.
Hi. Genes help a lot in terms of genetics. You're the daughter of PJ Brown. What has he taught you along the way from when you started to where you are now, and how much of an influence has he played in your career?
You know, my dad was obviously 16-year vet, but also I want to say shout out to my mom, who was actually my coach and was pushing me and dragging me to workouts and dealing with my attitude. Because of her, I wouldn't be here. My dad, hey girl. But my dad, he was more of the patient one, very quiet, very reserved guy. Taught me about positioning, taught me about grit, just my body, using my body in general. So, yeah. But both parents basically helped me, for sure.
Kalani, good morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Joshua Huron with Anscape. The other day you mentioned how Ka has held you accountable throughout training camp. Question for you, is there a specific moment or story that comes to memory of her holding you accountable and how that may have helped you?
Not at the moment, no. Like, I don't want to be too delulu about it, but I think when she addresses everyone, you take it when it pertains to you, but when your leader's addressing you, I think she's addressing everyone, so, yeah.
What's going on, Kalani? Stephen Prejean Garner from PHNX Sports. Excuse me, how you doing?
How you doing?
Doing good. I think when people talk about spacing, everybody's thinking about the three-point line, but I feel like for centers of your type, the dunker spot is important. What have been the conversations about how to leverage the dunker spot off of the attention that the big three see, and how do you see yourself fitting within that?
And this has been my greatest adjustment, it's positionless. No wrong move is a wrong move. You can flash, you can do whatever. You can get to 3. You know, Nate has given me the green light, and he wants me to evolve. So I'm very happy about that. And like just being, it's very uncomfortable at first, you know, but I think once I get it down, it's gonna be better. Yeah.
Hi, Kalani. Erica Day, PHNX Sports. Nice to meet you. How do you see your role evolving as training camp continues to progress throughout the summer? Just how do you see your role evolving?
Just being dominant, just being big, taking up space. My role has changed drastically, but at the same time, it hasn't. Nate's just challenging me to be more mobile, be up to touch on the defense, and yeah, just giving me a real shot. So.
Hey, Mark McClune, Arizona's Family, 3TV, CBS 5. Just wondering the challenges of new team, a lot of new faces, blending everybody together and trying to develop chemistry in such a short period of time.
that's a lot, right? We have a lot of time that we don't really have. But Nate's been very supportive. Staff is talking to us. We talk to each other. We all like each other and we're all gelling. So it starts there, right? And we have great leaders in AT and Ka. Also me and Sa played together as well. But yeah, we're just, we're taking it one day at a time. It's no pressure, but we want to make sure when we step in between the lines that we're going 100% every single day. Thank you.
Hey, Coach, good to see you. Alyssa Thomas, Sports 360 AZ. Good morning. Good morning. So we've heard so much about the positionless basketball, right, of what this team is going to look like and the versatility. But what goes into your job of managing, balancing the positionless, and then also everyone understanding their roles in crunch time and in those times?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, Nick just hit on it. This is the season is short, right? So we don't have a lot of time. And I don't know who has termed it positionless. I love the term. We're just trying to figure it out and play with space. I've had to remind Kalani and Mac that they are fives. I would say everyone else we're pretty positionless. And yeah, I think it's coming into this off season. Last year, Nick and my first year in the W, some of the best teams in this league had elite fours. And, you can count on one hand how many fours there are that play at the highest level. And to me, what Nick in their front office did this offseason to go get Alyssa and Satou was unbelievable. So, yeah, we're going to figure it out. It's been great. We've had some players, our 3 or 4 of our starters be here for a couple weeks. And I think as professional coaches, you kind of try to put a plan together with the team that you have. And it's been really good for our staff to see some of the concepts and actions that we're working for. And the players have bought into that. And, there's going to be times where it gets a little funky just because, we're asking AT to play maybe more point than she has in the past, although she plays like a point guard, but you really need to start this set, right? And so we're going to figure it out on the fly, but they've really bought into it. And Nick has said it. Part of the positionless to me is just, it's more the versatility in the passing. We talk a ton about creating space. Our shot profile in the last 3 days has been unbelievable. We're trying to get to the rim and we're trying to shoot threes and do it at a certain rate, a certain speed, and our group is buying into that.
Hey, Scott, Arizona Republic. Good to see you, Nate.
Good to see you.
You coached Britney last year. Now you got Kalani.
Yep.
What are some of the similarities and the differences, obviously, with Britney being the generational talent and the tough shoes that Kalani has to fill, being that consummate 5?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to fall strictly on Kalani. It's going to be Kalani. It's going to be AT. It's going to be Mac. At times, you may see Satou there. I don't think one person is going to fill BG's shoes. She was one of one, and so we're going to have to do it as a group. We might, with Kalani, we'll probably do it with size and power, and then when we shift down, we're going to do it with speed and quickness and shooting.
Nate, Brendan Clean, Phoenix New Times. Good to see you. A lot of turnover with the roster, but you'll get a second season with Kahleah.
Yeah.
What has your relationship evolved like with her, and how do you hope to see her continue to expand her game and really, seize the opportunity here in year 2 with you?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is why you get into coaching, right? I'll try not to get emotional here, but Ka is special. She means a lot to me and what we're trying to do. And her growth over the course of the year, a year ago, we had just met for the first time, right? And our conversations, our relationship, our trust is at the ultimate level. And there's going to be good times and bad times in any relationship, right? So, but I'm like, we have a new group, but my whole challenge to her this year is lead, 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 and it's not just with what you say, it's what you do. And we've practiced for 3 days, but she's been here for 3 weeks, and every day she has set the tone. And AT's right there with her, right? Like AT, that's who she is. But Kahleah's step, you know, she's seen some of the greatest leaders in W history with Candace and DT, and you know, she was super respectful to the group last year, but it's kind of hard to lead when you walk in with two cornerstones in DT and BG. And so I think you're really going to see her kind of like spread her wings and take pride. And I mean, you've seen it this whole offseason, the ad free agents, right? Like she's really kind of bought into what we're about. And yeah, I'm just really proud of the step that she's made and the mindset that she's come into camp with. And you know, now it's like doing it day after day after day. And you know, the more you do it, the more consistent it becomes. And so I feel like we're on solid ground with like where she wants to go and what we want to do.
Hayden Silly with Clutch Points. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
Piggybacking off of Brendan's question, I know like D and BG and even Natasha Cloud talked about you being a player's coach and being able to relate to them.
Yeah.
From your perspective, why is it so important to relate to your players, and what can that do in terms of the product on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, I think the beauty of coaching is now she shows up. I just said some real good stuff about you. No, I think the beauty of coaching is you have to do it your way, right? You know, you have to pick and choose. You have to lead. My big thing is I want to have fun. I want this to be joyful for the experience that we're getting to do this. I mean, I never dreamed that I would be here, and I'm sure a lot of the women that are playing. And, you know, there's going to be good times and bad times, but like the new day mentality, when we walk in here, we're going to come to work each and every day. We're going to pour into the Mercury. Nick hit on it. It's a short season, and so, you know, I think there's good in that and bad. But like when we're here, let's commit to each other. Let's try to figure out ways to get better. My whole thing is like, I don't want my staff being here and our players here and health and performance there. We're all in this together, win or lose, and we're not going to point fingers. And yeah, so that's just kind of my approach. I think maybe some of it was just being an assistant for 13, 14 years and like picking and choosing different ways to maybe do it. But yeah, it works for me, and I just love being around our team and committing to them each and every day to try to bring out the best. Oh, shoot.
I didn't mean to take your spot. I just had one question for
You're
Coach.
right.
Kahleah Copper from the Philadelphia Inquirer. What was the conversations that you had with Kahleah Copper before the season, and just talk to me about what she's been doing early on during training camp?
Well, if you would have been here 5 minutes early, you would have heard this. But
Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I mean, our conversations has strictly about been leadership and habits. And yeah, you're going to see that a lot. And, you know, to me, it's not just on the court. It's in the weight room. It's Ka's conversation in the meal room. It's engaging with your teammates on the bus. It's all the little things that make a difference in a good organization and a bad organization. And I've been extremely proud of Ka and where she's headed. We're 3 days in, but y'all check with me in 3 weeks. I'll let you know how she's doing.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Nate, Jeff Metcalf.
Hey, Jeff.
From what you learned last year about the league, the style, the way to win big in this league, what have you learned that you can apply with this group this season?
Yeah, you know, I think I talked about the importance of some of the fours in our league. Coming from the NBA, to me, the NBA obviously has good big players, but to me, it's a guards league. You know, the ball is in their hands a lot. So, you know, I think when Nick took the job, there was a roster that was here, and you're starting to kind of see more of his and my vision, all of our vision with the Mercury, like how we want to build this. We needed to get a little bit more physical with our fours. I thought Tosh did an unbelievable job for us last year guarding fours, but that was a lot to ask for her. And, you know, us going and you know, getting AT and getting Satou is just going to really give us more size, maybe just not at the center position, but just positionally. And then, like Nick said, like let's make this our own path, right? We've got different ideas.
Does that have to be out? Problem. I can't.
We're going to blame that on Ka. But yeah, I think you know what did we see last year that we learned, and then how do we want to play? And so you know, I think just with the versatility, the shooting, the playmaking, the passing, is hopefully you're going to see that, right? We want to create more possessions with our defense. We got to create more turnovers, get more defensive rebounds, and we want to play faster.
Morning, Nate. Craig
Morning.
Fouey, ABC 15. Hey, I asked Nick this about chemistry, and I'm guessing in this day and age of fantasy sports, we focus so much on stats and numbers, and we forget about camaraderie, chemistry. As a coach now, with so many new faces, I'm guessing in some ways you feel like a college coach with the transfer portal, with a whole new roster.
Yeah.
How do you get that chemistry and camaraderie built in such a short time?
Yeah, I mean, two things. I think my background, I still call it the D League, the G League, right? Being 6 years in that league, I think that's the toughest league in the world to coach in, because your team is always changing, and really none of those guys want to be there. And then, I just sent the front office like a little reminder. One of my daily devotionals was like character over results, right? And that was this morning. And it's a good reminder as we build this team, obviously with the trades that we made in free agency. The reason Nick and our front office went and got them, because they were good players and good people. And we thought that we had an opportunity to build something special. Obviously, you're seeing who Ka is and what she's about, and AT and Satou are the same, right? And getting those those three to the goods and the bads, right? And can we respond? But it's also the rest of the roster and how we build that out, and getting good people is so important. And that's something that, you know, Matt and Josh have really talked about here, and Nick and I believe in the same thing, is our culture is not just this beautiful building. I mean, it could be, and people could, you know, hang their hats on that, but it's the people. We've got great people in here. Our players are going to set the culture, but so is our staff. And I feel like we're so much farther along with our staff than a year ago. Everyone kind of knows what they're doing. We've been through the league 1 year. And so I'm really excited with where we're at and where we're headed.
Hey, Coach Mark McClune, Arizona's family.
How you doing?
3TV CBS 5. Good to see you. Hey, you talked about the personality of the team, but as the community and fans kind of get to know the team, how would you describe that personality, or what you want it to look like, with Kahleah asking the questions? And then, does this team, will it play like any of the other teams that you've coached in the past?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to become who we are. What we want is a team that's gritty and tough defensively. We want to fly around. It fits who AT is, it fits who Ka is, it fits who I am, right? Like, we want to be disruptive, create turnovers, and then that allows us to play fast. Mac hit on it the other day when she was talking to some of you, just like, we want to play in the open court. We want to look to attack, and then if we don't have anything, then we can get into some actions. But I think the city of Phoenix, the X Factor, is going to be proud of the product that we're going to put on the floor. You know, this is kind of like we are kind of shifting gears are shifting teams a little bit. And so, like, I don't think this is where we'll exactly end up, but, like, this is a great step in the right direction for how we want to play and how we want to compete defensively.
Stephen Prejean Gardner, PHNX Sports. How you doing?
I like how you wait to the end to ask your question. I appreciate that.
Of course. You got to talk to the person first. Last season, obviously, in the half court, knew you had 2 triggers with DT getting 2 to the ball in pick and roll and BG getting 2 to the ball in the post. You have a new crop of offensive talents at the top of your roster this season. What's the desired kind of offensive approach or process in the half court specifically?
Yeah, I think the first thing is we want to space the floor. The next thing is we want to share it. And the last thing we want to attack. We want to attack downhill. Who's going to be in what pick and roll? I think that will evolve, right? There's going to be times where AT handles and Kahleah setting the screen. AT handles and Sammy or Satou are setting a screen. Yesterday was kind of like the first glimpse of Ka and Satou handling, some of our other young guards handling, and AT sprinting into pick and roll, Max sprinting into pick and roll, and just finding them with rolls and shooters around and fill behinds. So, like right now, you know, I have an idea where we're going to go in the half court, but it's kind of part of, like, the first question is, some of this is we're going to figure it out as we go, you know, late game situations, ATOs, that type of thing, because it's such a new group and there's so much versatility. But yeah, I mean, it's going to look the same as far as just our space and trying to share it. It's just going to look different. All right, thank you.
Being here, I'll start by just talking about how excited I am for the season. We're 3 days into camp. It's been a great 3 days. You know, I think there's so much to be excited about in terms of this season. Obviously, the new faces on the floor. We're excited about the offseason we had, not only in terms of bringing Kahleah back, but Alyssa and Satou. And then I would say all the rest of the additions, too. Sammy, Kalani, all the way down to our training camp invites. It's a really talented group, really talented camp. And we have roster spots to be won. So it's going to be a competitive camp. It's going to be a fun camp. I think our staff is really, really in a great place, year 2, and happy to take your questions, but it's going to be an exciting year.
Hey, Nick, Alyssa Thomas, Sports 360 AZ. Good to see you.
You too.
So you just mentioned new big 3, so much energy coming in. When you get to watch it, everything you've built over the offseason on the court during training camp, what's it been like to see it come to fruition and see those 3 also be the leaders that you're looking for, too?
It's been great. They've played at, I mean, we're only 3 days in, but they've played at a really high level, and it's fun to see what they've sort of looked like already in 3 days and to think what can come beyond that. Talked a little bit in terms of at some of their press conferences earlier within the last few months. I think their games all complement each other really, really well. And the good news is they make everyone else around them better. So super excited for what I've seen the last few days, and even more excited for, you know, the compounding interest that we hope to come.
Nick, Hayden Silly with Clutch Points. Like Alyssa said, nice to see you again.
Yeah, thanks.
Just curious about when you brought in Alyssa and Satou, and then obviously, you know, Diana retiring, BG going to Atlanta. Did you know, or did you have a sense of sort of whether Diana would retire, BG would leave? Because, I mean, you brought in AT and Satou before all that happened. So I'm just curious if you kind of knew that something like this would happen, or if it was just kind of a spur-of-the-moment thing to sign those 2.
You know, I hate to give a vague answer, but it's kind of neither and all of the above. You know, like, these things don't happen in a vacuum. You also don't have all the information when you go through an off season. Things are changing constantly by the day. So our goal was to set out and make the best team we could with the information we had. And so I think people tend to think, like, you know everything and everything happens all at once. I can tell you that's not how it happens. It's things are changing by the hour, by the day in free agency, and so our goal was to make the best team we could, and we're really happy with what's come of that.
Hey, Nick, Mark McClune, Arizona's
Mark.
Family, 3 TV, CBS 5. Good to see you.
You too.
It's with so many new faces for fans this year, kind of getting to know this team. What is your vision for how this team will look and how this team will play?
Obviously, you should ask Nate that. It's his call in terms of sort of style of play, but I envision a team that can play really quickly. I envision a team that can shift up, shift down in terms of positional size. I anticipate us to have the ability to be really aggressive defensively and like I said, get out and run and space the floor. And we've got players who can pass and players who can play make. We put an emphasis on versatility, pass, dribble, shoot ability, and I think we've been able to accomplish that. So I think you'll see a fluid style of play, one that gets up and down the floor and one that can really share the ball a lot.
Dana Scott, Nick, it's good to see you again.
You too, Dana.
Arizona Republic. Just wondering about how this offseason you brought in some front court players with, Thomas, of course, Sabally and Kalani from Dallas in that deal. How important was it to bring those players in and pretty much kind of replace what obviously Britney was, but even though she's a generational talent, it's so hard to do that, and having a model similar to what Thomas had in Connecticut with Brina Jones in the middle and having Thomas there in that base defense.
Yeah, we're not trying to replicate anything anyone else has done, whether it's here in the past or whether it's things that these other players have seen in other teams. We're trying to be our own version of the Phoenix Mercury. But certainly, like I would say, Alyssa and Satou both play some of the most valuable positions in this game, and that's size, strength, and skill. They both have those. And so certainly thrilled to have them and have them playing together. I wouldn't say we're trying to replicate anything. We're just trying to chart our own path.
Hey, Nick. Brendan Clean, Phoenix New Times. A little bit of a bigger picture question. Kalani's one of the only players in the league under contract next season, and that was a big talking point. You heard a lot from front offices with the uncertainty around the CBA. I'm just curious how you manage that. Obviously, building a roster this season, ideally, you'd probably like to keep a lot of these players around long term, but not knowing whether you for sure can.
Yeah, it's we've talked about it a little bit. I know it's been written about. I think this offseason is going to be one unlike any league has ever faced ever before. It's so unique. And then within that, in a more narrow lens, obviously there aren't very many people that are under contract past this offseason, with Kalani being one of them. So Kalani's a great value add in terms of her ability to play on the floor here and now. That's the ultimate reason we were excited about having her. But certainly there's a contractual element that's really appealing too. I can't say what happens or what doesn't happen in terms of her or any other player, but having somebody who's locked in at a number is valuable.
Nick, Jeff Metcalf, right here.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi. So when the deals were made and you ended up having no picks in the draft, can you just talk about the process of trying to fill out the camp roster, find the kind of players you're looking for to give you the depth you need?
Yeah, our scouting department did a fantastic job. Our front office, Fleur McIntyre, Preston Fawcett, Trinity Elliott, Charlie Turner-Thorne, they've done an amazing job kind of preparing for the draft. And even though we had no picks, we treated it just like we would a draft if we had some. Obviously, there's always the ability to trade into a draft. So we were there, we were locked in. Didn't end up happening, but we got multiple players that we had rated in our top 30 that just happened to go undrafted, and we were able to bring them to camp. So excited about our ability to see those players, and we thought we got some value even though we didn't have any picks.
Hey Nick, right here it's Aya Abdeen for
Hi,
Ball
Aya.
is Life. How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. So I have a question about Sammy Whitcomb's championship pedigree. The team has spoken highly about her pedigree, especially she won 2 championships with Seattle. Can you talk about Whitcomb's potential to being a difference maker in Phoenix contention for a championship?
Yeah, absolutely. Sammy's been a humongous add for us, and I would say not just on the floor but off the floor. Everything we heard about her leading up to her signing and everything we've seen the past week, the ultimate pro. I mean, she sets the tone from a work ethic perspective. She treats everybody properly, and obviously she's seen what winning takes at the highest level. There's a reason she's still a pro and has had such a long career, and it's the work she puts in off the floor. It's her ability to impact the game during the 40 minutes, and it's the way she treats people. So we're thrilled to have her, and we think that she'll really set a tone from a work ethic perspective and a character perspective.
Hey, Nick. Stephen Prejean Garner from PHNX Sports. How you doing?
Hi, Stephen. Great.
Nice to talk with you again. Can you just kind of speak to, as things shift to being more positionless and versatile, how you evaluate talent that will stay aligned with the things that the head coach needs to be as successful as he could be in terms of facilitating the roster?
Yeah, I think versatility, and there's certain skill sets like that hopefully any coach can use. You know, it's you know, this analogy has been used before, but you know, it's our front office's job to go get the ingredients, and then it's a coaching staff's job to cook the meal. And we just try to get them as many good quality ingredients that they can use. And so you mentioned it, versatility. I think there's certain skill sets. I mentioned pass, dribble, shoot. You know, like if you have players that can do multiple things and impact the game in multiple ways, I think a coaching staff should be able to find those and utilize those better than people that can only do one thing or only impact the game in one way. So, yeah, they'll do a great job finding ways to utilize these players because I think they're all versatile, and I think they can all play multiple positions and impact the game in multiple ways.
Nick, Craig Fouey, ABC 15.
Hi, Craig.
Good to see you. Hey, when you're putting together this team and so many new faces this year on the roster, where did chemistry fall into your planning and your scouting and bringing people in, and how long do you expect chemistry to take effect here once they get together?
Yeah, that obviously takes time, and we'll have a new group, and so we'll have to try to speed that up as best we can. But like I said, we're extremely excited about the additions we've made, and we did as much background research as we could in terms of the quality of character we're bringing in, the types of people we're bringing in. We're very confident in that. But there's no denying that takes time, and this is a short season. The W is a very short season, so we're going to try to expedite that. Good news is our coaching staff is they're extremely talented in terms of building an energy in the gym that people want to come to work every day, and I think that matters. And we're lucky to have an ownership group and a front office staff and a business side that gives us the resources to try to promote some of that with this practice facility, eating meals together, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to try to speed that up as best we can, but we just got to go through it and build it, and there's no substitute for time either.
Hi, Nick. David Veenstra, Desert Wave Media. In terms of Elena Poyo and Merjunatu Musa, when will those players report to training camp, and will they factor into the Mercury's roster this season?
Yeah, so both are still playing overseas, so impossible to know when they'll be done. So that's a little bit of a day-by-day answer. Obviously, we're excited about the talent of both of them, but we wish them the best in terms of their seasons. They're in the playoffs right now, and they're obviously competing as hard as they can to keep playing. And so I'll have an answer for you once they're done playing. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being here.